Alright, so the first play I wanted to talk about was how we transition from our offense to defense. So what we have here is, let's go ahead and follow this up, is we have our triangle and they get the touch here, and now we're moving back onto defense. So right now at the beginning, the ball's in the middle, so we don't really know which way rotations are going to be going. It's a little bit hard to tell here. Somebody does need to challenge this. APOC, being in a better position, decides to come up and challenge this towards the middle, um, while Pistachio is shadow defending and heading back, and Hijack is currently also heading back. But as this play develops, the next thing we see is this touch right here. So right as they make this touch, the ball comes out to this side of the field, and that determines our rotation. So when the ball's on this side of the field, we know that you always attack from the back towards the ball. So we're going this way, and our rotation should be like this. So first of all, APOC, being on the cross side, shouldn't ever cross midfield. That should be basically your no-go barrier. Um, for the for the most part, you don't want to cut across there. If you have a man on the back, you want to turn up and be looking for an offensive play. If Hijack's backing off and Pistachio's having to go in, he should be looking at moving back to have Pistachio's back. But this is that point where you need to make a decision and not just follow the ball across. So mistake number one here is APOC coming all the way across. At the same time, we have another mistake by Hijack, which is going all the way back on the ball side. So when they say you're rotating back on the ball side, I mean here on the left side, the ball's on the left side of the field, and you're going directly away from the ball on the same side of the field backwards. That's something you want to avoid if at all possible. As soon as you see the ball is on your side, you want to be booking it across to get out of the way, so that this man can come in, and more importantly, so that you can clear the ball towards the same side. If Hijack was in a position here, he'd have to clear it across, which is a much more dangerous play. Secondly, we'll see the other thing that happens here as we continue is, as you go back, is the spacing issue. So now, since APOC is playing the side man still, he went from side, he cut across, and now he's still playing the side man, having not switched positions. We just had y'all two switch while leaving APOC stuck in the same spot. So Mystic came in while Hijack came out, and now that leaves APOC still playing this spot where he's would be in this position, but he's cut across here. So we have two people that are too close on the one side here, and we also have way too much space here towards our back man. So now, oh, and the problem with having too much space, let me talk about that real quick, is that any kind of touch by him into the middle over here leaves us very, very exposed. So if he gets any kind of touch over here, he has Zaf, he has Zesty, who are able to take possession on a very quick play, and Hijack's left all alone, and they have enough room in order to control it. So it's okay to let them have possession, you never want to let them have controlled possession. So as we see that play continue, they tap up and over, and Hijack gets a good challenge here. So this saves the fast break that could have gone very poorly had he gotten it further across here. If he had actually gotten it out towards Zest here, we could have been in a lot of trouble to where Hijack couldn't catch the play, and then he probably could have gotten that touch. Luckily that doesn't happen. It moves forward this way, and this is where the next mistake I see happens. At this point, we have APOC is in the back on defense, Hijack is challenging the ball. Pistachio, you need to wait up here in your quadrant on offense to help Hijack, rather than just book it straight back. What we see have happen is Pistachio is going to back out, and APOC, rather than moving in to have Hijack's back, is going to also book it out, and we're going to leave a lot of space right here for them to do whatever they want with. So here, Hijack goes, and as he goes for this touch, there's nobody here for him to pass to. There's nobody here to back him up when he misses. He's literally just left all alone, with his closest man being all the way back in our own box. The other man being at the farthest point of the field you can get in the opposite back corner. So now, if Hijack doesn't get this touch just right, we're in a very tricky spot. So now they have control, and they have numbers. So Hijack's out of position. They have a 2v2 fast break. We're already in a bad spot. What needs to happen is, as this ball, one of you needs to challenge and one of you needs to have their back. APOC is booking it up way too quickly for this situation. Um, as we see it continue, he goes all the way forward and leaves Pistachio all by himself here. So now Pistachio is left because of his spacing. Zach is able to control it, move it downfield. Pistachio can't challenge without getting flicked, and he has to respect the shot because he has no help side, but he also has to respect the shot here from Saf. So Zach has options. He can just keep dribbling it forward until Pistachio challenges. He can flick, he can shoot, and he can pass. Meanwhile, Pistachio just has to kind of guess because he's left all alone here. And as we see that play continue, he taps it out to the side and gets that quick little redirect, which is typically the best option here. And what we should normally be looking at doing is we take it from one side, we want to do an infield pass across the field for a redirect shot, because those are the hardest to deal with. They have to be going this way, and then it goes behind them, and that's the hardest to adjust to. And it's also the hardest to see coming because of the quick angle that he's coming from over here, and you've been looking over here at the ball. So it's not until the very last second that you get to see the man coming in this way, which makes it very hard to block these cross passes, or cross redirect shots, which is what we should be looking at doing. So just make sure we're not leaving too much space. It's more important to be in the right position than it is to have boost. Utilize these boost pads. You typically don't need full boost. 30-40 boost is usually enough to get the job done. Make sure you stay in the right position and you won't need to have full boost so much. The next play I want to talk about here is a scoring opportunity that is often left unused, but can be very easy to pull off and very hard to defend, and happens multiple times a game that I see people often pass up. So I wanted to kind of break this down and show you how this works. So here we have Pistachio get the hit and take control up the wall. So at this point, the situation is we have Mystic with control of the ball because there's nobody close to challenge him, coming forward. We have one man moving back. First of all, Hijack, you shouldn't be going for this boost. That goes into the spacing thing here. You should be taking a path more like this and looking to have Mystic's back on this play. The other thing we have here is we have a man who's up ahead of the play. So often what I see here and what we see in this instance is APOC moves back to let Pistachio move forward. But what that does is that leaves Pistachio all alone because we already have somebody on the backside. So what we need to have instead is have you look across the field to either be an assist man on the side, or you can look to take out the goalie in a demo here. So when you're ahead of a play and you have a man on defense, that frees you up to go across the field here, and you can do a lot of cool stuff here. So if we watch how this play continues, APOC's moving back, but had he gone in a different direction, if he'd gone this way, he could be in a position for either Pistachio to tap it down here for a nice redirect here into the net, or APOC could be looking at hitting the goalie back here so that Pistachio can take the open net. So as Pistachio goes for this, that can get communicated. Either he needs to take out the goalie, looks like it's Zest in this case, while he takes the shot, or make the space here so he can tap it down to the middle. That's a much harder angle for that redirect here, rather than leaving him all alone. And then we'll also still be in our rotations. As you're over here, you're ready to continue this way. You have a man coming forward, and you have a man coming across. So you're always just spinning around, someone always in an equal space ready to come in at the next opportunity. We're getting killed by creating these large amounts of space here. Like, I can't even see Hijack on the screen anymore. I've got 3/4 of a field here in the way back over here somewhere when the ball's up here in their corner. We just need to move in the spacing and get this going here. The other option would be is if that had gone a little bit faster. He's looking for a quick pass here for a redirect, and if that doesn't work, he's booking it across to make room for Pistachio. Your rotations are always the same, so since it's on this side, we know if the ball's coming this way, you always travel across and out this way. So APOC in this position, if you're not getting the pass, you need to be looking across field, looking at either the bump on the demo, looking for a pass redirect, or stealing their boost on the far side and coming back out this way. Okay, and just a little bit later, we have another instance of a similar opportunity we could have taken here. We have, in this play, we have Pistachio up ahead, Hijack is coming from the ball, and we have APOC who's back here on defense. So just like before, how we have the front man here ahead of a play, knows he's safe to continue forward because he has a third man back behind the man who's challenging here, and is now free to move forward and do an offensive position. So your first instinct here is to follow the wall and look for this, for Hijack to pass this ball here and get a redirect. If it's not going to happen that way real quick, you continue across and do the same thing. You're looking at getting a demo, or you're looking at making a lane for a redirect pass, or you can look at stealing their boost and moving out. Most important thing is we need to have somebody on this cross side. So we can't have somebody cut back this way as we do this, because then we all get overloaded on the same side. We need to make sure that somebody's across ready to exploit their backside, because that's where the majority of our goals should be from the far side here. We get the ball across and able to get that redirect. And if we keep rotating backwards on the ball side here, that takes away all of our opportunities to do so. So as we see the play continue, Hijack comes in right here, and rather than Pistachio being over here looking for a redirect pass or looking for a bump on Zach so Hijack can get the shot, Pistachio is moving back this way, APOC's having to come this way, and any kind of clear towards this side of the field is completely uncontested because we're all over here. So all of our offensive pressure is instantly shut down by just redirecting across the field. Normally, that's one of the most dangerous things to do on defense, but because we don't have anybody here threatening this shot, they're completely 100% free to just take the easy way out and bump it across the net, carry it out here, offensive pressure relieved. So, and as we see, Hijack goes in for his touch, and he's left all alone with nobody to really be able to help him, and they're able to clear it out of the box. So this next play that I want to talk about is one that actually went well for us. We were able to get the goal, but we did leave a lot of open space, and we left ourselves vulnerable for a counterattack. So if things hadn't gone exactly as planned, what was our goal could have very easily turned into a goal against us instead. So as we watch this play, we have APOC challenging the ball up on the front, with Hijack rotating across the field from left to right, and Pistachio has APOC's back. First of all, right here, Pistachio, you're being very aggressive. You've already moved into an attack position while Hijack is still over here, and you're not sure how this ball is going to play. I'd like it if you could be a little bit further back, more looking for this. You typically don't come across midfield until you know it's your ball. So while it's right here, it's a little bit harder to tell, so this is a bit aggressive here. If you do, however, come in here, it needs to be communicated with your other men here. So Hijack here thinks he's on the front and thinks that you're further back here. So he's taking his time looking at maybe getting this boost, turning around for a redirect, some kind of something, because he doesn't know that you've come up here. So if you're coming up this way to take the shot, Hijack needs to instantly have your back. So this is something that can happen very quickly. If that's the better angle for the touch, feel free to come in and take this pass like we get. Just make sure to communicate it so that the man who's cutting across can come back on defense a little bit faster. So as we see this happen out, APOC gets it down and across to Pistachio, and had Zach gotten a touch here, we're very vulnerable to a shot on net. He could have hit it there, or he could have just kind of lobbed it out in the center somewhere here for his team to scoop up and take a fast break. Luckily, Pistachio is able to get it here, but Hijack being so far out of position over here leaves us vulnerable. Had that been communicated when you're coming in here, he could have taken a better angle back this way, and we could have been still very safe to take this play. without leaving our net exposed had things gone poorly. Luckily, however, we were able to get the center, and Pistachio was able to get the goal, so good job. Alright, so this next play here is a defensive play here. We've been struggling with the ball in our box for a little bit here, and we finally have an opportunity to get it clear. So what turns into an opportunity to transition an offense quickly turns into a goal against us due to a couple of rotation issues. So if we take a look at what we have here, we have APOC is coming out at the ball, Hijack has his back, and Pistachio's in a weird awkward position here. So what should happen is Pistachio should be booking it out and across in order to come around from the backside and let all the rotation happen. Instead, what we have happen is APOC takes the touch and Pistachio cuts back on the ball side here. So at this point, Hijack, who is in position coming in here to take this touch, no longer has a clear path because Pistachio is cutting across the field towards the ball to cut him off. So this presents two problems. First of all, Hijack has to worry about whether or not Pistachio is going to get a touch, whether or not he's going to hit it back around Pistachio, any kind of things. This makes this a much harder read. The other thing is he no longer has any help here. So if he makes a mistake here, he's in a lot of trouble. So seeing this happen as Pistachio comes across, Hijack backflips back to net in order to try to keep position in net. The other thing that happens over here is APOC also starts rotating back on the ball side. So now our goalie, instead of being able to come out and get this hit, has now had to go backwards into net in order to try to get this, turn around, and play against two of his own people charging back on the same side. So not only does Hijack not have a good ability to be able to get this clear with both of y'all on this side, he has nobody here to help him on the backside, and the team has nobody on this whole side of the field. So if they are able to get any kind of touch out here towards the center, midfield, and across, that's going to be a very easy redirect behind Hijack, who's going to have to be facing this way to respect this touch and respect Shadowzack here. He has to face this way, so anything coming around from the backside is going to be almost impossible to defend. And that's basically what we see happen. It's a weak touch here. Actually, I think that's a missed touch here. But either way, it comes across the field, and there's nobody here on the backside. There's nobody here to have Hijack's back because everybody was rotating the wrong way here, and it ends up costing us a goal. Okay, this one is a spot where we get caught in a little bit of a twos positioning, which is something to be careful for. It's a common mistake I see in threes, is this man wants to play support right here, coming in, which is fine up until about midfield, but as soon as you hit midfield, you need to make a choice. You're either booking it out across to be the assist man, or you're staying back as the back man. So you need to be aware of where the next man is. So knowing that APOC is behind you, you need to be booking it out across the field. So as we see, what happens here is Pistachio plays kind of like a twos position, where he sits back and center a little bit, looking to play an assist man, all the way up here onto the front side. So now you're too close to be the back man to have his back, and you're too far left in order to have the cross man here. And now APOC is just stuck in a position where he can't do either position because you're kind of in between both of them. So you need to make a decision to either stay back or to go over this way, communicate that with him somehow, because what ends up happening here is we end up getting this line, and nobody's here on the cross and nobody's here on the back. So if anything goes wrong, booms it back this way, hits it across this way, we're very vulnerable from everywhere except for a direct shot. So any kind of tap out to basically anywhere on the field, we can end up getting scored on. So make sure that you get out and across so that we can keep our spacing and the back man can continue forward going this way. As we see, APOC kind of doesn't know where to be. He thinks he's going up to the cross. He thinks you're going back. Now he's to the back. And we just kind of a little bit ambiguous here. Luckily, we're able to get back into rotations before anything goes wrong. But that 1, 2, 3 in a line is something that we always want to avoid. The only time it's okay is to do it is on defense, as we're transitioning from defense into offense. but this man needs to quickly either book it out and across or loop back around to let the next man come up. We need to not keep that positioning as you go all the way forward here. After midfield, that's definitely a positioning error.